boys and girls. Happy Friday to you. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you got a chance to sleep in this morning and have some good breakfast. It's going to be a great day. It looks really pretty outside. Just wanted to talk quickly about our homework for today. Talking about what we've done, we are still working on our ig family words. We learned the words with and the word or. And this week we talked about when I don't know, I keep trying. When I don't know something, I keep trying. And in class we talk about, that can be an activity on the playground. And when I don't know how to do the monkey bars, I don't give up. I just keep trying and trying. Try to go a little bit farther each time. We also talk about it in terms of the classroom. And if I just can't quite understand how to subtract or how to add or how to do a story problem, I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to keep trying. We're just going to keep practicing, and I know that I will learn it. And so we talked about that this week. So remember those lessons. Those are really good to also share at home, boys and girls, when you're talking with your family. All right, let's talk about our homework today. We have buzzing teen numbers. So it's been a while. Somebody in class said this week, because we had to do some cutting and gluing, and somebody said, boy, we haven't done this in a long time because you hadn't had homework in a long time. So getting out the scissors again today and cutting today for sure. So here, this is what we've got. We've got our teen numbers starting at 11 and going all the way through to 20. And this looks a little bit like what we did, these little blocks we worked with this week, where we had to color in 10 and then some more. So we would color in 10 and one more square for 11, or 10 and 2 more squares for 12. So these blocks look a little familiar because we did something like this in class this week. So you have to cut these out. Make sure we need to be learning, boys and girls. Some of us are still looking at this row of blocks here and still counting and making sure that they're 10. That's good, but we really need to be more fluent about that and being able to subitize that, in fact, that's 10. So I can start counting there and I say 11, 12, 13, 14. I shouldn't have to go all the way starting at 1. I should be able to look at this and know, I should be able to subitize. That's 10 because we're talking about teen numbers. So there's my group of 10 that is in all teen numbers, one group of 10, and then how many more? And I should be able to say 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I should be able to count on rather than starting from 1. Okay, and that's an important kindergarten skill. The next one we have is crossed out and subtract. So this is what we do all the time. I feel like you guys will be able to do this. The directions say, write a subtraction equation that goes along with the pictures. So I know before I cross them out, I have to have them all together, right? So I know this looks like beans. At first I thought they were potatoes, but they look like beans. So if I'm going to write my number sentence, how many beans or jelly beans do I have to begin with, right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or you can subitize and see that that's 6. That's always going to be our first number. The biggest number is your first number in your subtraction sentence. And then how many did I cross out? So I have 6 jelly beans, and then I crossed out 4. So it looks just like that. I have 6, take away 4. I know it's 4 because I see those crossed out. And then just with my eyes visually, I can see that I have 2 left, or I can count them. And then you write the number there. So that's great practice for, normally we have to draw everything out and then we cross out. So this is really great practice for how well do I really understand the subtraction. Because if I understand the subtraction really well, I know that my first number is going to be the biggest number and that the number I'm crossing out is what I'm taking away, so that there's no confusion. Okay? You're going to do well on that. And we're continuing with our teen numbers. This is something that we have to become really fluent at, really smart about, quickly smart about. So remember, in all of our teen numbers, there's one group of 10. So when we look at all of our 10 frames along here, we can see that the top group of 10, that top 10 frame is 10. Again, boys and girls, we should be to the point where we're saying, okay, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I shouldn't need to start all the way up here to count. But if I do, because sometimes it just takes us a little bit longer, that's okay. You practice it enough so that maybe by the end of the page or the end of the problems, we're not having to count them, because our brain knows now and it trusts our eyes that say, look, I've counted all of these. I know that they're 10. So when I come down here, I'm just going to count on 10, 11. Does that make sense? I hope so, boys and girls. If you have any questions, you let me know. And then you cut out your numbers here and you're going to glue them onto there, okay? One of our vibes a couple weeks ago was sometimes it just takes us longer. Sometimes it just takes us longer. Let's see if I can find that one quickly. I can't find it. But when we've talked about it so much that it's okay. Sometimes it just takes us a little bit longer. It doesn't mean we're not going to know it. Doesn't mean we're not smart enough. It just means it takes us a little bit longer. So if you feel like you still have to count at number 1, that's just fine. But remember, our goal, boys and girls, is to get to the point where we're just looking at it and knowing it. So if you're not there yet, that's okay. That's okay. Work on getting your numbers correct. And then just keep practicing it. The more you do it, the more your mind will say, wait a minute, I don't even need to do that step anymore. Okay? All right. Moving on off of our numbers and looking at our letters. So we're talking about what says raining, beginning, and end sounds. We do a lot of this in class, boys and girls. So I want you to take a look at the picture and we'll name them together, okay? So we have a ham. We have cut. This is fin, looks like a shark in the water with his fin sticking up. Down here we have a leg. Over here is a bed. And down here, that bunny, what does the bunny do? The bunny hop or hops, but in this word we are hop, okay? So you need to take a look at those pictures, and as you look at the first one and you say ham, ham, what are those beginning sounds and what's that ending sound, okay? And then you can either write them in or you cut them out down here and you glue them there, okay? If this were me, boys and girls, what I would do is I would just cut them out, and before I glue them down, I would just practice to make sure that I had the right beginning and ending sounds. So that we're not losing any letters or not hearing them correctly. So maybe just put them there before you glue them down and then make sure it sounds right, okay? All right, cracking out sight words. So some of these we haven't learned yet. Some of these are not our sight words, but I still feel like just being able to look at them and recognize them, that you'll be able to do this. So they're going to be all goofed up and mixed around. It says, look at the sight word on the chick. Color the eggs that match the word. So take real careful time here, taking a look at the word. This word is will, will. R, we know this one, R. Get, that's one of ours. Am, and put. So all you want to do, boys and girls, is make sure, sometimes they're spelt a little bit funny. You want to make sure that you're coloring the egg that is spelled correctly. And even though that these may not be all of our words, it still helps us in our brain with being able to recognize letters and sort of our word sense. Like, does that make sense? No, because I just looked at this word, it's not spelt the right way. So it helps us with discriminating or using our brain to make those judgments. And I love these, you know I love the sentence one. So this is our sentence unscramble. And so it's getting a little bit harder. So we have boxes up here that our words will be glued into. So we cut them out here and we glue them in order up there. And then it says to write a complete sentence. So I'm going to read this sentence down here. It's not going to make any sense. It's not in the right order. It says, in basket see I the eggs. That sounds backwards, mixed up, scrambled. So I want you to cut those out, boys and girls, and you just practice putting them on the boxes until the sentence makes sense. We know that we always have to start with a capital or uppercase letter. So that is a clue. That's our clue. Which letter has an uppercase or is capital? And then we always know, so that can be our first clue with what goes first. And then we know that at the end, our sentences must always end in a period, unless we're asking a question or we're really excited and we're talking with emotion. And then we would have an exclamation point, or an exclamation mark. But for this, boys and girls, we're talking about, we're just telling something. So we're ending our sentence with a period. So that's another clue. That should all be our last word. So if we put our first or our beginning and our ending together, we should be able to figure it out. And then I want you to write a sentence of your own. Write a sentence of your own. And that's it, boys and girls. So I hope you have a super fabulous day. Some of you I will see today in just a little bit. But have a great weekend. It's my favorite time of year. So get out there and play in the sunshine, get your homework done, and do some reading. Okay? And I will see you ready to learn Monday. Have a great weekend, boys and girls.